back to my channel. This video is about UPSC Mains note making. So what I do is I divide this into various headings, and in this video you will understand about all these headings, and finally you will understand how you have to do answer writing, what exactly you have to practice. ऐसे नहीं कि you just pick up a question and you start writing and you think you know answer writing. That's not how you are supposed to do it. Okay. So the first thing is about keywords. How do you do keyword analysis? Okay. I have opened syllabus of GS3, which is the most complex out of all. And this is Vision ISK website from where I've opened it. Okay. So you see this topic called as investment model. We will understand in terms of this particular topic. This is a keyword. Okay. And there is infrastructure, जो इसका एक part है, जिसमें energy, ports, roads, airport, railways ये सब होता है. ठीक है. These are all keywords. Now come on to the PYQs. That is how you will understand how these keywords actually see the question of investment models. Now they have given just two questions. Ideally, you have to prepare for past 10 years or at least 5 years. But anyway, so you see the second question, which says why is a public-private partnership required in infrastructural projects, and examine the role of PPP models and redevelopment of railway stations in India. Now let's go to the syllabus. You see the syllabus. The question had exact words: investment model, railway stations. That is why you have to prepare notes on each and every word that is written in the syllabus. That is the keyword. Okay. Now we come on to actual question and like answer. For that, you have to read this answer, this question. It says explain the meaning of investment in an economy in terms of capital formation. And then you have to discuss the factors to be considered while designing a concessional agreement between public entity and private entity. Now, why do you have to practice answers and how do you have to practice answer writing? This gives this word public entity, private entity, which means public private partnership. It essentially means the same, but it talks about the meaning of investment in an economy. Now, this is something that you don't actually, put down in your notes anywhere, or this is not something that you read word to word. But आपसे question पूछ लिया and question भी ठीक ठाक number का है, so you have to answer this. Then there is something called as concessional agreement. You do not read about designing a concessional agreement of public-private partnership at all. That is where you have to put down the power of answer writing. Okay, so these are the two arenas where you work in: answer writing practice, which is basically a non factual question, and a direct factual question. Now, how do you prepare the notes? For that, we go to toppers copies and toppers answers. Now, this is an answer given by Rahul Srivastava sir. He's a topper of batch of 2022. This is available on his Telegram channel freely. You can also go and visit. Okay. तो यहाँ पे इन्होंने forum का test दिया है, and this is the question. It says that what is a hybrid annuity model? Why was it considered as a game changer earlier, and now it has received a lukewarm response from the private developers? What are the alternative models that can be pursued to encourage the private investment? Okay, this is the question, and you can see what he has written. You can clearly see the examiner has rounded his rounded rounded his introduction with 40, 60, something like that. Okay, just look at this quickly. Okay, 40, 60, and he's written some points of lukewarm response, and then he's given this some PPP models, which is TOT is given. The examiner has rounded it. Okay, because they are visible. These are the good points, right? This is written DBOT. Swiss challenge is written. EPC is written. He's given recommendations from Kelkar committee. Okay. And then he has concluded with an example and he has also highlighted it. Okay. So this is his answer. Now, how was he able to answer this? You can look at his notes. This is also available on his Telegram channel, and he gives in two forms. One is long form and one is short form. I have purposefully, specifically used the short notes because this is how you understand exactly how to make notes. So this is the topic of investment model, and these are his entire notes. बस इतना छोटा सा, just half a page note. And you can see something 4060 written here. That is exactly what he quoted. Some BOT, something BOT, DBFOT written, and that this TOT, all of this was quoted. Kelkar committee again quoted in the answer itself. Okay, so this is what he was reading, and this is what he was producing. This is how you analyze the topper's notes and answers. Now, a question should arise in your mind about this. the lukewarm response. This is not given in his short notes. So this is how you understand that when you're making the final notes, जो आपने हॉल में घुसने से पहले पढ़ने हैं, उन नोट्स में आपको ये नहीं लिखना है, because this is something that you can write on your own. This material, this 4060 वाला data, this TOT wala data. This is what you will forget. This is what you put in the final notes. Okay, and this is something that you understand by answer writing. कि ये मैंने लिख देना है. अगर ऐसा कुछ आया lukewarm response type की कोई चीज आई, I know the basic idea of public-private partnership. This is something that I can write. Okay, this I don't have to put in the notes. This is the answer writing practice. Okay, now look at this question. It states the explain the meaning of investment in an economy in terms of capital formation. Can you see that this question appeared in 2022 and Sir is a topper of, sorry, 2020 and Sir is a topper of 2022. His notes do not have this topic. So how was he able to answer it? I mean, he must have seen it, of course, right? क्योंकि ये तो पहले आया 2020 में आया. He didn't put it down in his notes, and still, of course, he must have gone through it, right? Why is it not in his notes? Because this particular question is actually an analytical question. You do not need specific notes for this particular question. You will be able to answer this question only and only if you have done enough of answer writing. Okay, now see. There is meaning of investment. You know what is an investment. This is a prelims related topic as well. You need to know what is investment. Okay. So you know the meaning of investment from prelims and in general economy reader as well. Then you have to explain it in terms of capital formation. Again, it is a prelims topic. Okay, you know this. So nobody is going to come prepared for something like this, but everybody knows it. That is the beauty of UPSC. Okay, everybody knows it, but nobody is prepared. Okay, then there is discuss the factors to be considered while designing a concessional agreement. Now think of an agreement. Okay, any agreement if you were to sign, irrespective of whether it is being signed by a PPP or anybody else, there are some factors that an agreement should have, right? There should be some clauses that okay, if I am signing this with you, then I should not be at a loss. You should also not be at a loss. Both of us should make some profit, and if either one of us defaults, then there has to be a regulatory body to look into it. Okay, now just look at this. Look at this. He has written reforms in Kelkar committee. It says that there has to be governance, institutions, and there has to be capacity building. Okay. So he's exactly given how an agreement should be signed. Kelkar committee is explaining it. Okay. So this is how you answer this particular question without actually having the material for it. This is how you practice answer writing. Okay. That is your brain is able to expand to the position where you are able to analyze the questions. Okay. Now we have covered all this. Next, we come on to value addition, a very big mammoth again. With this answer, there is so much of data, there is graph given here. You have 66 by 109, 21.9%, 76, 69%, 131,190, 270 million. So much of data, so much of data has been given in this particular answer. This is kind of value addition that you think of getting in your answers, isn't it? But how do you do it? So there are different ways of getting this value addition. First way is uh, by reading the newspaper. So whatever you're reading in the newspaper, that can act as value addition. Okay. Second way of adding this is data is what I recommend mostly and what I have done. It honestly depends on you whether you want to follow this or not. Is by doing this after prelims. After prelims, you will always get a lot of data from coaching institutes that will give you all these numbers. Okay, so you don't have to ratify it before prelims. You can do it afterwards as well. Okay. The third way of doing this is by prelims itself. Prelims में आपने whatever you have ratified till now, whatever you have mugged up, that can act as value addition material. Now there is very important point about value addition. That is what exactly do you have to put in value addition. Now look at this data. He has memorized the number of multidimensional poverty index. He has memorized the data of people, the percentage of people living in under below poverty line. Okay, he knows the data about average literacy rate. Okay, about expected lifespan, gross enrollment rate. Okay, so on and so forth. Do you look at this kind of data? He has no data in his. Wait a sec. So he has practically no data in this answer, just 40, 60 over here. And other data, the TOT part and this HAM part, whatever is written here, is not that difficult to remember, right? EPC, Kelkar committee, not difficult to remember, right? But this is very difficult to remember, right? But yes, put in effort to do it. So what you have to do here is just look at the investment model thing. You can't put it across various question papers. Okay, but over here, multi-dimensional poverty index, you can use it across your papers. GS 2, 3, 4, everywhere, even in essays and even in your interviews. You can use this. Below poverty line, you can use this everywhere, again, even in interviews. So he has put in effort in the data, which will help him cross papers. And you should anyway know this, even for your interviews. That is why this filler material that he has used, this value addition material, it is going to save a lot of headache. Okay. Because at the end of the day, you're human, you will not be able to rectify so many things, right? For mugging up also you need some boundaries. So this is how you know where to draw a boundary. Okay. Our last topic is about final note making. These are my notes that I made. These notes I made using various sources, like multiple sources from the internet, from magazines, various sources. Okay. Now these notes I did not make using Sir's note because I was not aware about his notes back then when I was making these notes. Do you look at these notes? I have put in needs, I have put in advantages, I have put in problems, and I have put in how is the government supporting the public-private partnership. Okay. And this is the second page. I have also put in Kelkar committee here. Okay. So do you see this? I think I made it via mains 365. I'm not very sure. So my notes and his notes are almost the same. I also have Kelkar committee. So this means you are, once you're on the right track, you make notes from Topper's notes, or you make it from mains 365, or you do your own research. Eventually, everything will sound similar because all of you are on the same line. Okay. The notes that the coaching industry is making is also making using these materials only. Okay. They are also looking at PYQs. They are also looking at how the toppers are, gaining and how they are scoring. So eventually it will boil down to the same things. Okay. This is how you make your final notes. But this is how you make your revision notes, where you put in only the material that is required, that is volatile. That is the material that you will revise just before entering the exam hall. Okay. Now the last part is about answer writing practice. What do you practice? How do you practice? Okay. With this question again. This second question is a like a school wala question, like we used to answer in school. Why is the public-private partnership required in infrastructure project? It is a why question, then examine the role, etc., etc. So this is the question. This is the kind of question. If you don't know about it, you cannot answer it. ठीक है सीधा सीधा आता है नहीं आता तो नहीं आता. But the first question is kind of like a question which is an analytical in nature. This is the question that you don't need notes upon. This you can do an answer writing. For so when you're writing the answers, you need to understand that UPSC is going to be asking me about the nature of investment. Okay. So I need to know something like this and I need to explain it. Okay. And I will also need to know something related to public-private partnership agreements. Now, how do I do this? I know that there is an agreement being signed. Okay. And wait a sec, I'll just show you this. Okay, I have written this need. Okay. So there is an agreement being signed. There has to be a need for some kind of an agreement, right? I need to know the need of the agreement. I need to know the advantages of it. I need to know the problems of it. And this essentially will complete the agreement. And if there is any problem happening, and how is the government supporting it? So this is how you make the notes and this is how you do the answer writing. You cannot do answer writing without making notes, and you cannot make notes without answer writing because until and unless you start facing problems now, तब तक आपको you will not get a compass that where are you getting stuck. So you have to do answer writing, then make your notes. Then you make notes, then you realize that something is going wrong, then you make your notes again. Okay, so it's a long process. I will try to do it myself in the channel in the upcoming videos. Um, but you can do it yourself as well. Okay, so this is how you practice answer writing. Okay, and I hope this was useful to you. And please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much for watching.